No, the recommendations are great. I mean, but the problem is I've seen them all.
It's just getting
versions, I think, dude,
getting
better.
It's like getting a new cycle in. Like, oh, you may like this, you may like that. Like, yeah, I get it. That's why I said like the Hulu does it really good. Well, they'll have staff pick movies and stuff, and
I
then
even
you're
like it how they do it by like decade, 90s, 80s, like 70s. I think that's pretty cool too. But yeah, like I said, all this movie is just all good memories.
Yeah,
it's a Remember Berries movie. I don't have anything else to say about that movie, and that's that.
Who wants to go next?
I guess I'll go next about the Hocus Pocus, dude. Like, dude, I'm so glad you chose this, Diego, because I grew up on this, dude, and there should be no hate on anyone that was about this, dude. Honestly, this movie, when I first watched it, had the best, like, singing moments, dude. I don't know why the singing moments in this one were so much doper than other Disney cheesy bag, like, singing moments. Like, I do love that song, I Got a Spell on You, like the classic version. So when they did it in the format of a little more funkier, upbeat Disney style, I was like, oh, I kind of I like this, dude. And then, what else can I say about the film, dude? I don't know, dude. I just felt entrapped because in the beginning it does get very deep, and then they do they had a Disney it, dude. Like, they nerf it, and it becomes a comedy, but I thought it didn't hurt it as much, maybe critics-wise. I seen that people were saying that, yo, like, I do love this movie, but this is not the movie I go for. So I can see why that might have hurt ratings by professional views on this movie. But this movie's honestly gold, dude, for as long as I remember, because they would play this shit when it wasn't fucking Halloween time. They would play it like in December still. Like, they didn't give a fuck. This movie was popping back then, dude. Like, I can remember sitting there when cable was around, and this movie was on, I'd be like, yo, I'm watching this, dude. Put everything on hold. Like, homework, everything. Like, you know, when I was like a little elementary kid, dude, I was like, I'm gonna just watch Hocus Pocus. Because it was so good at the time. And that's why I'm like so glad Diego chose it. And he said, fuck it, dude. Like, I have the balls to pick something that many wouldn't have chosen. You know what I mean? Something that I would do, and probably I'm going to do later in the episode. So, you know. So, yeah, you know, that's cool. I totally dig that, dude. Congrats to fucking Diego, dude. He said, and I like that you relate to so many people, but they were still hating on you. That's kind of weird, but, you know.
I think it's interesting how you brought up the singing. It was better. Sorry about the chair. What's interesting is, like, you had two big Broadway stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarah Jessica Parker and Bette Midler. She was Sarah Jessica Parker was little Annie.
Yeah.
When she was younger, and Bette Midler did a bunch of stuff. So you had good talent there, and that's probably why they lost money on the movie. They spent a lot of money for it, but this one has longevity. It's staying around.
Yeah.
So it's
something that you were talking about earlier. It's not a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
And honestly, not to talk about how long like the movie has lasted, but it was in the vein of Nightmare Before Christmas, because they came out at the same damn time. So like, Nightmare Before Christmas came out at the same time of this movie. So I think it was in the vein.
There could have been competition for sure. And then the stop animation would definitely win out over...
He's right, 93.
Yeah.
93?
So that's just one of those
And
things.
that was a fucking good movie. And it also had dope, like, singing moments. Like, I could totally be with singing with Jack when he gets to his parts, dude. Like,
That has a 90,
I felt those,
95, dude. On Rotten.
Really?
Nightmare Before Christmas. Holy shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm surprised we haven't done that movie. But yeah, dude, I think this movie does hold up in its time. Maybe I think Disney got burnt out on it, because I don't know, because I used to know on what channel Disney was on cable, but what are they on these days, like, except for Disney Plus?
Back in when
I'm glad I paid for it.
When we had like just the analog cable, it was 52.
Yeah. It's still going. Their channel is still going. It's
They just have weird ass, whack ass content now.
Well, I mean, it's not catered to us anymore.
Yeah.
It's not something that we enjoy.
They tried that with Disney XD.
Yeah.
Remember that? And then one of the second channels more towards
It's
boys.
still on.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because what happened was the reason they bought Marvel is they didn't have a boy market. They had the princesses locked down. That's why you got 3 fucking Cars movies. Because it was selling shit. Not because Cars was so fucking awesome. It's because it was selling shit. So that's why you got 3 of them. So instead of, they tried it with Aladdin and it didn't do well. Toy Story kind of leads into a boy market. Cars did extremely well selling merchandise. So they went and bought Marvel because they wanted the boys market. They didn't have it, so they bought it. And now they got it.
They had Thanos in it.
Yeah, I mean, you could buy the Infinity Gauntlet at California Adventure now.
Dang. This is true.
So not only did you get the boy market, but you got the dad market.
Yeah.
Like, what they should do now is just buy Nerf. Just buy Nerf guns. I would love to go to California Adventure and get an awesome Nerf gun.
Nerf for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, they nerfed the movies.
Oh. Damn, coming with those straight jabs to the down the pipeline.
Don't go back.
Mickey's like, hey, that's not nice.
What about you, Wes?
I remember seeing this when it came out, and I feel like I watch it at least once or twice. At least, if not, catch clips here and there every fall. Every Halloween season. It's funny. I feel like the chemistry with all the characters is great. I have a lot of awesome memories of watching it on the Disney Channel, like Tiny was saying. They seem to play it like at random times in the year sometimes, like just as a filler spot, which is fun. I think it was crazy that Disney greenlit this because it's kind of based around the Salem trials. It's like a darker concept, and I feel like maybe that's why, because I feel like witches are related to, with people who aren't into the dark and macabre or whatever, they relate it to Satan, and they're like, well, I don't want my kids watching this shit, you know what I mean? Like the way that Harry Potter had kind of blowback with like the wizardry. I feel like maybe this probably, even though it was funny and kind of lighthearted, they're just like, oh, I don't know.
It's also before the time of the internet outrage.
True.
So they couldn't get it out there.
Yep.
Like, how did Disney nerf the Salem witch trials to be like this good and funny? Like, how? Oh man, fucking Disney.
This made me want to watch Salem again, though. Did you ever watch Salem? It was on WGN.
The show?
Yeah, where Marilyn Manson did the music for.
He comes out in it, right?
Yeah.
Like
I never finished the last season, so he might have been in the last one.
I think he comes out.
He's a great actor too.
He's not bad.
Yeah.
He's a weird fucking dude, but pretty cool.
He is good.
But it made me want to watch. It made me watch like the adult version. I'm like, okay, I want to see this one now. That's what made me want to do. It's one of those movies. Like, you ever put on a movie back when you could watch previews before a movie, and the preview they show before that movie is so fucking good, you're like, you know what, I'm going to watch that one instead. Yeah. So you take the VHS out, and you get the other movie, and you watch that one. That's what it did for me. I wanted to watch Salem. Not saying anything bad about this movie.
Yeah.
It's just like, I want to see the adult version of it now.
You know what's crazy that you say that you want to watch another movie after watching this one? Is that I wanted to watch Nightmare Before Christmas after this movie. Like, you know what I mean? I had that urge, like, yo, I'm already on a Disney spree of Halloween stuff, dude. Who knows? After
Disney Plus knows you, because that's what they recommended me right after it was over.
Yeah.
Same for me.
Yeah, no.
Are they Halloween Town? I'm surprised they haven't that hadn't been.
Halloween Town's good. The first one.
I felt like watching that. The Under Wraps movie's fucking hilarious, dude.
Oh, dude, that's an underrated. Yeah, that's a really underrated movie.
Under Wraps, James and the Giant Peach, all that shit, dude. The 90s were lit, dude, for Disney.
Smart House.
No joke.
Smart House,
yeah, dude. The first series.
Killing me with.
I'm sorry.
Disney movies in the 90s were really good, live ones. Mm-hmm. And even when Michael Eisner took over for Disney, that was their boom. But then they didn't really transition well into the early 2000s and stuff like that. It was just
that was hard too. New media was coming
Yeah.
out. Like, do they focus on digital? Stay with animation, like cartoon animation type deal, like 2D? Like, that was tough for everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, Pixar was the only one really trucking through. And they didn't even own them completely at that point.
Chris, have you seen Pen 15 yet?
Dude, Wes, I've seen it like twice now.
Dang.
Not only did I see the first season and loved it,
It's amazing.
I made Natalie watch it. She loved it. And then when it came out, we finished the whole second season in one day. It's only like 7 or 8 episodes, but still,
It's good.
we knocked it out. And they're the same age as me. So that's my middle school. Like, that year, that everything, they're like
It's
that.
it's so like real. Huh?
Yes.
It's like they fucking nailed it, dude.
They nail it. I mean, they nail the girl's perspective. Like, I don't know it, but what it seems like perfectly. I remember, like, down to the shoes, to the necklaces, the way what's her name does the hands, like the way she. Great acting all the way around. Like, it can be annoying because they start getting like, "Mom, like, stop!" But it's great. I love 10/15.
Dang.
It's an underrated show because no one really talks about it. That second season shouldn't be 8 episodes. It should be 10. It makes me afraid the second season got 8. Because that means they're probably not going to get a third. What makes you bring up Pen 15? Think about penis?
No, it just because of the nostalgia behind Hocus Pocus. It makes me think of that show because it's so good at bringing up our past.
Yeah.
You know, like what we grew up with.
They nail it. Like, with the just everything. That show, it's a Hulu show.
Like, stuff that you've thought, like, you forgot and you have in the back of your subconscious, it like brings it out and you're like,
motherfucker,
that fucking did that.
The passing the notes.
They're drinking Surge all the time.
Oh yes.
Oh,
I had to explain what Surge was. And I go, that's the soda I wasn't allowed to have. I had to trick my stepmom into buying it for me.
Yeah, it's a great show. You guys should, Diego.
I might, after this episode, gonna go do it.
Watch it, dude. I have it there, dude.
Same here. I'm like, I literally, I'm like about to watch it. I just see something in the bottom. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch that. Like I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Thundercats. I was like, it was right next to it.
Thundercats throws the table.
You know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna watch Thundercats.
No joke. I've only made time for my Rex and this Focus, so. Like, that shows, like, I haven't put too much time into movies, so I was so glad to watch those underground stuff I watched, dude. I was like, oh, like, this is refreshing, you know? Like, I was drinking some water with my eyes and shit. Like, it was fucking good. What?
Oh.
Like, it was just refreshing, like for my visuals. Like, I see something so new. And that's what I had time for, but like I said, I was so glad that Diego picked this movie. It's just some dive. Like, who said they didn't watch something for 5 years? I felt like I haven't watched this in like 5 years. That's why I was so glad to like bring it up and then have it as a main focus for this episode. It's just a good movie all around. I don't think.
And I think like it's. I mean, me being around little kids at home. It's hard for them to be still for a minute and not focus on their phone or whatever they're doing, and just sit down and then just sit down and watch this movie. It's kind of like it's. I want to say almost rewarding. Just kind of like you got them. Yeah, you got them.
As like a 6 or 7 year old dude, it entrapped me, dude. Like, I don't know why. It's about witches. For a kid, it's probably deep, dude. Like, it does feel dark, but when you grow up, you're like. It's pretty funny though. Like, you know,
you're like, this fool's a virgin. Like, who's a virgin? Like at the 90s. Like,
I love watching the movies now with younger kids to see what they laugh at. Like, do you get that joke? Or what are you laughing about that you think that's funny? One of my favorite ones is so I grew up watching rated R movies very young, just because they were movies. I know they're fake. I know it's not real. That's just the way my family was. We watched whatever I wanted to watch. So my sister was maybe 9, 10. I put on Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Because that movie plays out like a cartoon. It really so like she doesn't need to follow anything. They're just two dorks doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
So they get busted on the Hollywood studio lot,